Thank you very much, and it is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here today to help honor a man who has devoted his life to honoring baseball. He certainly was one of the great managers of our generation. He's a Hall of Famer, and, as Jamie said, a baseball legend in every sense. He's been a wonderful ambassador for baseball. And I'm proud to say, on a personal note, he's been a close and a very, very loyal friend. So, Tommy, congratulations. You're most deserving of this honor and of this very, very special day. It is fitting that your portrait will hang in the National Portrait Gallery. Because when you stop and think about it, yours is a uniquely American story, and you belong in this very sacred hall, along with such other Dodger greats as Jackie Robinson, Branch Rickey, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Gil Hodges, and Walter Alston. In addition to your great success as the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers for 20 years, during which you led the Dodgers to 8 division titles, 4 National League pennants, World Series championships in 1981 and 1988, you have served the game wonderfully well in all those years. And then on a personal note, in the 2000 Olympic Games. Remember when I called you, Tommy, to ask you if you would do this? And he did. And he managed stunningly the United States baseball team to an Olympic gold medal. And that was a proud moment in this country, not only for all of us in baseball, but for everybody in the United States. And there was the manager, who had done a really remarkable job. I think most importantly, though, you have uniquely served the Dodgers and our great sport by generously spreading the word about the greatness of the game throughout the 4 corners of the globe. You have visited 23 countries, think about that, during your baseball career, and have made friends and baseball fans in all of them. Sampled all their food, too, I may add. When I needed a recognizable figure to travel the world and represent the World Baseball Classic, first in 2006, and then again last year as a global spokesman, I immediately turned to you. I did so for a myriad of reasons, but obviously your love of the game, your unmatched international experience, and, although some may debate it, your engaging personality and immense charm. You became the tournament's ambassador to the world. And thanks to you, amongst others, but with a great nod to you, the World Baseball Classic became an instant success and is already recognized as the world's greatest baseball tournament. So, Tommy, during your 60 years as a Dodger and a baseball man, you often and unabashedly proclaimed that you bled Dodger blue. But all of us who know you well know better. We know that you bleed red, white, and blue because in every way you have proved you are truly a great American. So congratulations. And may I also add, happy birthday. This is truly a special day for you, and you deserve it. And on behalf of everybody in Major League Baseball, thank you for everything you've done and will continue to for the greatest sport in the world. Thank you.
This is your life, Tommy Lasorda, and it's one that we all feel privileged to know a little part of. As the commissioner noted, you're a birthday boy today, and it's a nice occasion when your friends can gather and do something that will, in so many ways, be part of the legacy that has shaped who you are to Americans everywhere in American life. And 60 years with an organization. You want to get things done, stick around, huh? Get them done. So, Tommy Lasorda, we ask you if you'd please come up and say a few words for everyone.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. Well, after listening to Jamie and the commissioner, I felt like I died. I want to thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Commissioner, for coming here and being part of this. When I saw that painting, I got a little touched today. I just can't believe something like this has happened to me. You know, when I was inducted into the Hall of Fame in baseball, I said that when I was about 15 years old, I used to actually dream that I was pitching for the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. And Joe DiMaggio was my center fielder, and Gehrig was my first baseman, Dickey was my catcher, and Babe Ruth was my right fielder. And then all of a sudden, I felt my mother shaking me. Say, "Wake up, Tommy. It's time to go to school." I said, "Why did she do that? Why did she take me away from that dream?" I couldn't believe it. But then, one day I was warming up in the bullpen in Yankee Stadium. Yogi Berra was the hitter, and the manager called me in. And I took that long walk from the bullpen to the pitcher's mound, and I looked around. I said, "I've been here many times, but in my dreams." So right now, I feel like my mother's going to wake me up. Say, "Wake up, Tommy, it's time to go to school." This is unbelievable. I don't know how to say it, but I have so much to be thankful for. And I have my daughter here with me. I'd like for my daughter Laura, stand up, Laura, please. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law come from Greenville, South Carolina for this affair, Johnny and Gladys Reeves. I want to thank all of the committee who made it possible for me to be standing here at this moment, to select me to be able to put my portrait into the Smithsonian Institute. I would have never, ever believed it. And it's amazing the feeling that you can get just looking at the picture that's going to be here for many, many years after I'm gone. And to still the opportunity to have that picture, that painting, and the man who did it is sitting right here. He did a great job, and I appreciate that. He did a wonderful job. And I thank the general for coming, and I thank the admiral for coming. Those two guys I look up to with so much admiration, respect, and love for what they represent. And to see them here today just made me feel so good. Jamie's parents, that I love very, very much, are here. So I look around and I see people that I've been around for a lot of times, the players who showed up, the managers who showed up, the general manager who came here, and the members of the commissioners group for coming here. You made it happen. And I thank the committee for allowing me to be put in this great, great institution. You know, when I got the job as manager of the Dodgers, a guy interviewed me. He said, "You're replacing a man that's been there for 23 years. He said, "Do you hope to match that?" I said, "Buddy, all I want to do is live 23 more years." And I wound up managing the Dodgers for 20 years. It took a heart problem to get me out of there. But you honor me here. You honor my family. You honor the greatest organization in baseball, 60 years. I'm proud to be associated with the greatest organization in baseball. And I said this time and time again, the Dodgers, it's baseball. Somebody says, "Hey, you with the Indians." You say, "What reservation are you from?" Or somebody says, "You're a Padre. When did you become a priest?" Or somebody says, "You're a twin. Where's your brother?" Somebody says, "You're a Cardinal." You said, "Work hard. Next step is to be the Pope." But when you hear the word Dodgers, you know immediately it's Major League Baseball. Also, you're honoring me here. You're honoring my country. I was born and raised in the greatest country in the world, the land of opportunity. You could be anything that you want to be. And it took a third-string pitcher on the Norristown, Pennsylvania high school baseball team, and I'm sure you know what a third-string pitcher on a high school team is. Worthless. But I told him, "Coach," I said, you and those two pitchers that you pitched before me are going to buy a ticket to see me in the big leagues. We live 15 miles from Philadelphia. We went in to play the Phillies, and those two guys called me from the side. I went over to see them. It was Red Henning and Buddy Ryder, the two guys that he used to pitch, never pitched me. And when I started in the dugout, he hollered to me, "Coach Harvey Fishburne." I said, "Hey, Coach, Dodgers." Because it's the great American dream. I dreamt that I'd pitch in the big leagues so much that it actually happened. And to be associated with this great institution, I don't know. Somebody out there asked me, he said, "What's next for you?" I said, "Heaven." Because this is the utmost, the most unbelievable, the greatest, one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me in my lifetime. And I thank all of you for coming. You made me feel really good to see all of you here. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Jamie and the commissioner, for you to stand up there and talk, I appreciate every word that you said. And to all of you, oh God, it's just been great. I might probably miss somebody, Ron Iden, or somebody who has played so much of a part for me. But Admiral Mullins, I'm ready to go to Iraq again. It was the greatest feeling that anybody could ever have, to see our troops and talk to them and tell them how much we love them, tell them that we can't wait till they come home safe and sound, and to tell them we appreciate what they're doing over there. They didn't get drafted. They all volunteered. They volunteered because they want to be part of a great country. And we have the greatest military in the world. And for me to be able to talk to all of those over there was an honor for me to do it. Because I loved it. I loved what they are representing. And I want to go again to tell them how much I love them. So I want to say thank you for coming. I look at that picture and I just can't believe it. I thank the committee for allowing it to come in here. I know it's a very, very tough fraternity. So God bless everybody and thank you for coming.
Thank you. Don't let this intimidate you. Tommy, happy birthday, and I'm very proud to have had this opportunity. And I also, everybody has to thank somebody, and these are meant heartfelt as well. I want to thank Jasmine Sewell, who represented Portraits Inc., who acted as my agent in this, and David Mandel of House of Heidenreich, who framed this painting. And I have to tell you, always be careful when people say I'll be brief, but I promise you. I told Tommy that I grew up in New York, actually was in high school with Tony Bennett, except he graduated. And I used to play baseball on the west side of Manhattan with a stickball. And as Joe Torre said to me tonight when I said I was a switch hitter, he said, well, you always took your weaker swing because you didn't want to use your full power at knocking out windows of all the apartment buildings. But the Yankees used to stay at a hotel at 91st Street and Broadway, except for DiMaggio. He did not stay there, but Bill Dickey, Babe Dahlgren, Rizzuto, I guess, maybe Corsetti. Anyway, we used to wait in the late afternoon to see the Yankees, and our favorite player was Lefty Gomez. Now, I don't remember where I had dinner last night, but ask me 50 years ago, and it's as clear as I see you. And Lefty Gomez had a yellow convertible. In those days, you didn't lock the door of your automobile. And on each door were two gold emblazoned baseball bats with VG for Vernon Gomez. And we loved Lefty Gomez. He was old. He was probably 30. I was about 9 years old, and I waited with my autograph book because we all loved Lefty Gomez because he was colorful. Probably the worst hitting pitcher, wasn't he, Tommy, in baseball? And I came up to him one afternoon. I said, Mr. Gomez, could I have your autograph? He was wearing a camel hair jacket. And he said, oh, sure, kid. How's this fountain pen work? So I said, well, you gotta pull the plunger to let the ink out, and it shot right up his arm. He grabbed me by the back of the neck and threw me out of Mrs. Cornfield's stationery store. And I won't tell you what expletive he used, but I said to my father, he called me a little basket. Years ago, I had the great thrill of painting Bart Giamatti, and he was president of Yale, and he told me that we'd have to have the sittings other than New Haven and New York because he was going to become the president of the National League and then eventually commissioner of baseball. And he was very impressed that I knew the entire Boston Red Sox infield from the 40s. And so he gave me a season's pass, red, white, and blue, any ball field. And I was a little cocky, and a friend of mine, David Pitt, was with the New York Post, and I said, this treat's on me. We're going out to Shea Stadium, and I went up to the main section there, and I, sir, where's my box? He said, kid, up as far as you can walk. It was open seating. Anyway, those are my baseball stories, and it was curious enough. I'm very proud to have a painting in this institution of Arthur Ashe and another one of Byron Nelson, but the only sport I really can relate to is baseball. And I can't tell you what a privilege what an honor and how much it means to me to have come to meet this remarkable man. And my final story was I had connected with Colin Gunderson, who was your liaison, and they had no idea the size of the portrait. And I wrote to Colin on email, and I said, you have to know this, the portrait, if you see any image of it, it's really quite large. It's over life size. And a couple of hours later, I got an email back from him. He said, everybody's laughing because they said, if anything's over life size, it's Tommy Lasorda. Thank you.
Perry. I'm here with Coach Tommy Lasorda, Hall of Fame manager, one of the most amazing men in America, and a true ambassador for baseball. Today is Coach Lasorda's 82nd birthday. Happy birthday from the National Portrait Gallery, sir.
Thank you very much. And listen, this is one of the greatest things that could ever happen to anybody. And for me to get in here, this is a tough fraternity. And I am so thankful, so appreciative that I could be here celebrating my birthday and celebrating the fact that my portrait is to hang in here for many, many years to come.
And we're awfully honored to have you in the collection, sir, and we hope you'll come and see us for many, many years to come.
I will. I guarantee I'll come back. Yeah.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you very much.
Ben Bloom and I are here with Tom Paciorek, former major leaguer, and also one of Coach Lasorda's former players. Now, you said you didn't play for Coach when he was in the majors.
By the way, don't ever say coach in front of Tommy. It's skipper or manager, because I jumped all over. I made that mistake. When I signed in 1968, the first guy I met was Tommy Lasorda, and I called him coach. Don't you ever call me coach, I'm the skipper of this ball club. Okay, so remember that.
Okay, he's not going to like the video we just shot.
But anyway, he was the first guy I met in Major League, in professional baseball. 1968, we were in Ogden, Utah, and I thought everybody was like Tommy Lasorda, had his personality. And 41 years later, I have still yet to meet another Tommy Lasorda. I think it's the greatest compliment you can make to a guy. He epitomizes what baseball is all about and what life is all about. Not only did he teach us how to play baseball, but he taught us how to act in life. And I think he's like a second father, and I can't say enough good things about Tommy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paciorek, for talking with us.
Remember, skipper.
Skipper.
It's true.
We're glad you're here with us today.